Shalom Yasha Allah. This is your boy Rapaya Allah Kadash. And I felt compelled by the Ruach today to come forth and do a video. Okay, something that I've been noticing lately, even a lot on Facebook, even throughout even people personally around my and personally people that I know, you know. Basically a lot of talk and whatnot. There's a lot of backbiting and there's a lot of vain conversation that I see that takes place among brothers and sisters in the nation. You know, a conversation that really should not uh, be taking place and whatnot, and should not be mingled amongst one another of the nation, and even those that claim to be of the Most High on the law, statutes, and commandments. So I felt compelled by the Ruach to do this little video today, and it's based around that, you know, unrighteous conversations and the unruly tongue. Okay, I wanted to start off with one precept coming out of the book of Ecclesiastes, 20th chapter, starting from the 13th verse, and it says it's thus: "Curse the whisperer and double-tongued, for such have destroyed many that were at peace." Verse 14 says, "A backbiting tongue hath disquieted many, and driven them from nation to nation. Strong cities have it pulled down, and overthrown the houses of great men." Verse 15, "A backbiting tongue hath cast out virtuous women, and deprived them of their labors." Verse 16, "Whoso hearkeneth unto it shall never find rest, and never dwell quietly." So, you know, a lot of us or whatnot, you know, have, you know, either some brothers that might deal with women. You know, you have a lot of women that sometimes or whatnot, you know what I'm saying, they have that, you know, that way about them. They feel very strongly expressive about certain things that might tend to, like, you know, to bother them or whatever, you know. And then you have those or whatnot that they do it in such a manner, like, you know, like my mom used to always tell me, if you have nothing nice to say about someone or whatnot, it's best that you don't say anything at all. You know what I mean? And you have conversation that takes place and whatnot, you know, that people, you know, they indulge in conversation. They could be talking about another person, you know, another person that may not be in the midst to defend themselves. Okay. So right there and whatnot, just like the Most High says, "Cursed be the whisperer and the double tongue, for such have destroyed many that were at peace." You know, so if a person's at peace and whatnot, you know what I mean, it's best to always leave things at peace. I think many should be able to agree with that, right? Okay, I'm going to go to now chapter 9. Chapter 9, still in the book of Ecclesiastes. Chapter 9, still in the book of the Apocrypha of the Ecclesiastes, chapter 9. I'm going to start from the 15th verse. And it says thus: "Let thy talk be with the wise, and all thy communication in the law of the Most High." See? Say that again. "Let thy talk be with the wise, and all thy communication in the law of the Most High." Verse 16, "And let just men eat and drink with thee, and let thy glorying be in the fear of the Most High." Verse 17, "For the hand of the artificer the work shall be commended, and the wise ruler of the people for his speech." Verse 18, "A man of an ill tongue is dangerous in his city, and he that is rash in his talk shall be hated." Okay, so it goes for a lot of the brothers out there too, you know what I mean, as well as the women. You know, if you're gonna hold wise conversation and whatnot, you know, say conversation, let it be with the wise, and let it be in fear and subjection of the Most High. No one should be holding vain conversations and so forth about if they have a certain misunderstanding with another brother or sister, you know, because what does the scripture say? You know, if you find a brother at fault, or a sister for that matter, ye which who are spiritual shall correct another in spirit. You know, so we have to be always wise that when we are amongst one another and we are holding conversation or whatnot, you know what I mean, let it be in wise conversation. Let it be in subjection and fear to the Most High and the law. You know what I mean? because I see a lot of this happening, taking place on Facebook, especially vain conversation and perverse disputings going back and forth, back and forth. It's not supposed to be, Yasha Allah. This is not one of the things that's supposed to happen. You know, this is not spiritual according to the Most High. Okay? And we're going to go on to now the book of Proverbs. You know, because these are one of the things, whatnot, man, that has to comes out, and that we have to always check ourselves. We have to be willing to check ourselves, Yasha Allah. You know, and if we have a dispute about something, or there's be something that's wrong in certain manners, we should be able to talk it out, and we should be able to bring it to the table without there being any type of vain disputings or cursing one another out. You know, because I see that going on as well. You know, brothers cursing one another out, and it shouldn't happen. I don't know where in the idea and the aspects of where anybody will get the idea that that's something that's cool to do, but you know what I mean? It's not. You know, and we're in the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 5, and it says as thus: a false witness shall not be unpunished. I'll say that again. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall not escape. Okay? Again, if you speaketh lies, you shall not escape. Okay? A false witness shall not be unpunished. And there's a lot of people and whatnot that bears false witness against another person, false witness against a brother. I've been through it plenty enough times. People that bear false witness on me because, you know, they don't understand something that I might have said or something that I'm about, you know, and then they want to tend to bear false witness. You know, nobody knows anything about my faults better than I do, other than the Most High, Yahuwah Bahashem Mashiach Yahushua. You know what I mean? Now, other than that, you know what I mean, I, of all people, know that I am the perfect angel. You know, I've done certain things that I've had to very much kind of confine myself, go into my own little circle, you know, go into my own closet and pray and atone, you know, because that's what it's about. When you do something or whatnot, or you feel like you offend something or offensive to something or whatnot, even if it's offensive towards your own spirit, you go in your own closet and you atone for that, you know. So we go to Psalms real fast, the book of Psalms. Okay, book of Psalms, chapter 39. Psalms chapter 39, verse 1. And it says thus: I said, I will take heed to my ways, that I sin not with my tongue. I will keep my mouth with a bridle, while the wicked is before me. So that's what it's supposed to be. Supposed to take heed to our ways and sin not with the tongue. Now, you know how the scripture says, be not of vain conversations. We should not supposed to be of vain conversations. Okay? We're supposed to not, you know, saying, speak of anything or guile, speak of anything malicious towards anybody, towards a brother, you know. But sometimes, you know, people get correction confused with judgment. When you're trying to correct a person or whatnot, man, they right off the bat, people will take it as you're judging him. Oh, you can't judge me. Oh, the Most High can judge me. Oh, nobody's judging you. It's the scriptures that speak. It's the scripture in the Ruach of the Most High that speak. And we know the Most High is the ultimate judge, you know, but we are put forth as watchmen, as it says in the book of Ezekiel, that we are put forth as the watchmen. That if we see something or we see a brother or a sister going a certain way and whatnot, we correct them. But we are not to sin in our ways. We are to take heed in our ways and sin not with our tongue. Okay? And I don't think a lot of people get it and whatnot when they're out there, you know, saying when they're speaking. Just like I say, a lot of things happening on Facebook. There's a lot of vain conversation sometimes that takes place. You know, sinning with the tongue. Okay, go to another precept. Go into the book of Deuteronomy. We're going to go to Deuteronomy 5 and 20. Deuteronomy 5 and 20. And it says thus: neither shalt thou bear false witness against thy neighbor. Again, that false witness. Don't be a false witness against your neighbor. Don't be a false witness against anyone, Yasha Allah, in of your nation, of your brother and your sister. Okay? Even when it comes down to the strangers that also take heed to the law, statutes, and commandments. Don't be a false witness. Okay? We're not to be bearers of false witnesses. And I see that a lot. It happens a lot amongst our nation. Okay? We'll go to Matthew chapter 7 real fast. Okay, I'm just wanting to touch on a few things and whatnot, a few precepts. Because like I said, by the way of the Ruach, I felt compelled to do this and to bring this out. Matthew chapter 7, verse starting from the third verse to the fifth verse. And it says as thus, and why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thy own eye? Verse 4, or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye? Verse 5, thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, then shalt thou clearly cast out the mote of thy brother's eye. Okay, so we got to remember this. Whenever we go to speak of anything of concerning any brothers or whatnot, any brother or sister, and like I said, again, even when it comes down to certain strangers that takes on to these law, statutes, commandments, we got to first beware of the beam that is in our own eye before we try to cast out the mote in the next brother or sister's eye. Okay? Because I see a lot of people who figure because they know the scriptures and whatnot, man, they're going to come with the scriptures and try to tell a brother about themselves. There's nothing wrong with that. But remember, even the Hamashiach, even the woman that was brought onto him or whatnot that was caught in an adulterous affair, what did he do? When they said, oh, when considering the law of Moses, that it should be death by stoning, he said, well, hey, that he who was without sin cast the first stone. So a lot of you brothers and sisters need to remember that. Remember what the words of the Hamashiach spoke. Okay? Remember the words coming out of Matthew chapter 7, verses 3 to 5. Okay? Make sure that thou takest the beam out of thine own eye before you cast the mote out of another person's eye. Okay? And there's many more precepts that can go on with that and whatnot, but I'm not going to go on too much further. But these are the few things that I wanted to bring out, okay, just to let it be known. Okay, we have to consider our own selves. We have to observe our own selves. Okay, we have to be more considerate in the observance of our own selves before we can come out there and we can figure that we of the spirit can come out and try to chastise any other brother and sister in the nation. Okay. So with that, I want to say Shalom Yasha Allah. You know what I mean? Thank you for hearing me out. And hope everything that I said today and whatnot, man, can really sink in the mind and really come in some thought. Shalom.